do, if you have something that you're passionate about, if you believe that you're worthy of money, worthy of success, worthy of those things, that then not only do you get to live a life you weren't even imagining, but you get to do things with this organization or create your own organization or create such a bigger vision for what you get to do that you really wanted to do, but you could only contribute a few dollars because money is bad. I'm not worthy of it. I can give, this much percentage, and the rest I'm struggling to pay bills. And, for as long as you believe that and I've lived it. So I'm not telling you something. When I stepped out, and I've said this before, but when I stepped out to help my brother, I was told that I would fail financially if I did that by more than one person. And I did it anyway. And the reason I did it anyway, the call from God was so strong that that was what I was supposed to do, that I did it and that I believed it would work out. But the thing is, I didn't believe big enough, right? And so I believed enough to step out. And then I got mired down in the bits and pieces, and I started believing what they had told me. And I, at least enough that I was struggling. And I spent more than 3 years struggling to make, and it wasn't for lack of work or effort, but it was definitely lack of belief. And it was also that other piece, beating yourself up, feeling like I was a failure. But you know what? There were moments when good things happened. There were moments when I let that God thing in, I let that love in, I let something happen that let me get this house that I now own. I got it as a rent house, when I truly, I had the courage to come and look at it, and then I didn't believe, nope, won't happen. All these reasons that I gave myself, and I didn't respond. They actually reached out to me. I was at least far enough along to say, oh, well, if they reach back to me, maybe God is saying, I'm supposed to have this. Maybe this is. But I moved into this house in 2017. It was another year and a half before I really said, okay, I'm not going to lose everything. I'm not going to fail. I am going to turn it around. And when I started choosing, and one of those things was every morning, connect, meditate, or do appreciation, read positive things, do the things to connect myself to God, to source energy, to a belief system different than what I was operating in, and stop that and start to recognize what I was really telling myself. And it was, I'd get in a good place and I'd go to work, and, I'd be stressing about money, in 10, 15 minutes. But over time, I got better. I could get back, say it's like on a bike. I'm in a good place. I'm feeling good. I got it. I'm supposed to, get out of this. I'm supposed to be successful. I can do this, get to work, fall off the bike. So we'll call that a bike. At first, I'd pretty much be off the bike until the next morning. And then as I just kept being consistent, right? Then I could sometimes get myself back on the bike in the middle of the day, And this is steps. This is how I learned all the tools I have to teach. This is how I learned all the steps I use it now. I use it all the time. I use those steps that I teach every day. It's not like you reach a place where thoughts don't cross your mind that aren't productive, aren't beneficial, aren't taking you the place you want to go. It's not like there's no way that anyone walks through life that there aren't things that knock you down temporarily. But I don't have to be knocked down for 3 years. I don't have to be knocked down. And even then I said, you know what? I don't have to be knocked down till I go bankrupt. How about let's turn this around now? How about let's do something different? How about let's reach back for some of the resources I found when I was going through cancer and grow from there, right? How about let's watch what happens when we start believing and document it and recognize the patterns that are working and recognize the things that aren't serving me. You can do it too. And I actually have a blueprint for you. It doesn't have to take you the 10 years it took me. right? I have a blueprint for you, and it's growing because I have more and better ways to explain it as I live it and experience it and do it for myself and land in the hole and crawl back out again and get back up again, because I know for sure how loved I am and how worthy I am. And because I know that, I know how loved and worthy you are. And that's my point. You don't accept it for yourself, you don't have it to give to the people around you. And there are people that won't receive it. That's why you're not responsible for what they receive. You're only responsible for what you step into and what you give, because you have no control of what they choose or don't choose to receive. But when you step into it for yourself, you have so much more compassion for where they are. Because when we feel like, somebody else has to tell me that it's okay for me to do this, and they don't. Now I'm mad at them because I really wanted to do this, but I need them to tell me that. I'm not recognizing that I get to choose, that I can be connected, and I don't have to depend on whether they're connected, and I can't make them connected, but I can love them right where they are. I can love them and say, you do you, and I'm going to do me, and this is me, right? And then as I'm able to give that gift to others, and I see other people growing because I can give that, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm totally okay with whoever doesn't line up with it. And it doesn't matter to me if people don't get it, because that's not the point. I don't need to focus on it. I need to focus always on where I am and accepting in that love and having that gift to give and giving it to whoever's able to receive whatever part of it they're able to receive. Because I'm also not responsible for what they do or don't receive of it. I'm just responsible for giving it. But that's enough. That's huge. And what happens out of that is you will see people connect. You will see people have children, your kids, the kids you teach at school, if you're a teacher, at work, when you show up in that space and you be that space, you'll see people live better and have ideas and have aha moments simply because you do. And you believe so much in that space. And as you see it and as you receive in what you see them receiving, it grows. It grows. One of my favorite things to say at this point is 2 + 2 isn't 4 in that instance. When you're letting all that love in, or 2 times 2 also isn't 4. It becomes 8, it becomes 16. It just grows and expands. That's why it's so important. It's why I am passionate about finding ways to line up again when I do get knocked down or something does happen, because it's just more tools. It's just another instance where I have more tools in my toolbox to share and give and love others right where they are, right? Truly. And that's the gift. That's the gift. And every single person is worthy. And your gifts are maybe, different than mine, but everyone is worthy of the gift of receiving that love in totally. And then from that space, how you love others is so different. And it's easier because it's not conditional. They don't need to act a certain way for you to love them. And loving them doesn't mean you're bound to them. You can love somebody that there has to be a certain amount of space because they're not connected. You don't have to let people keep unplugging you. You get to choose that, loving boundaries. You can love them in their unpluggedness, right? But love them from the space, not right next to you, not in your day-to-day life, unplugging you all the time. Love them and let them be over there. Pour that love that you have accept it in, pour it out to whoever can receive whatever you have, with no judgment of what they do or don't receive. And, you'll connect to people that, the relationship you have with them, because they're connected so much of the time and you're connected. And also there'll be people that can help you. Like sometimes, as much as you have tools and gifts and connections, if something's happening really, really close to you, we're meant to have encouragers. We're meant to have people, who love in that way. But the people you let into that sacred space need to be people who are connected, that know how to connect and reconnect, because that's the sacred space that allows you to reconnect to that giant love and give to so many people whether they're connected or not, and watch as sometimes little light bulbs go on, right? And it's so much joy. And as you do that, you will find more people that are your people. Like, you nourish each other, you connect with each other. You're able to remind yourself when one of you, hits a space, and they have the tools, but you also know you can pour love into them and they'll go, oh yeah, got it. Thank you. Right. And those are the people that are your closest connections, because that's one of your tools. We all have a lot of tools, and you'll create more tools. And the whole purpose of everything I teach and share is giving you tools, more tools. I gain tools every day. I share those tools because I love you, and because I want you to love yourself and realize that you're worthy. Because do you know what? This world is a better and better place the more people are able to wake up and realize that they're worthy and that they are worthy of that love. That's the gift. We are worthy of so much more than we allow in. And that's what I'm called to share and to teach and to be. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, how you get there. Just whatever pieces open up for you to let that love in, and to stop beating yourself up for anything you've done in the past, any person that you were in the past. It doesn't come overnight, but you can learn how to do that. And that's what the tools are for, because we're all so worthy of that. And it's an unbelievable gift to let the magnitude, as much as we can, we're all human, but let the magnitude of that love that God, the universe, source energy has for you for all of you, every one of you, every single one of you. And I love you. And I want you to live that incredible, amazing, extraordinary life that you were born to live, because you were born worthy of all of that love and of being all of who you are, which is letting that love in.